So, Sue Bird, you see this. Investor Sue Bird has no interest in Unrivaled's 313,000 viewership as she urges fans to look at it differently. I'm begging you to not notice. It sucks.
Sue Bird is back in action. The iconic point guard, four-time champion, and WNBA's most prominent advocate has stepped up to defend the league's impressive viewership numbers, which, to be honest, can sometimes seem on par with my grandmother's Facebook live streams.
Yeah, I think the way I feel about it and kind of what I'm hearing is we can't overreact, in a sense, to some of the viewership numbers because there's just a larger story.
Meanwhile, Angel Reese's ratings seem to be dropping faster than a brick in water. But don't worry. Sue says everything's perfectly fine. Just close your eyes, imagine the numbers are higher, and voila, problem solved. Let's dive into why this is completely off base and why the whole situation is so absurdly funny.
They wonder why no one is supporting their secondary dump. They wonder why no one is watching pretend basketball. Maybe if they focused on the actual basketball instead of focusing on their weird utopian fantasies, maybe their dump would be upgraded to a polished turf.
Sue Bird is stepping up to defend the WNBA's plummeting viewership, suggesting we focus on the positives, like the fact that nobody's watching. And of course, she's backing the WNBA's desperate, unrivaled league rebranding and Angel Reese, even though she hasn't done much to draw viewers. Wasn't Unrivaled League supposed to be a big deal? Yet, ratings are sinking, and games are getting fewer viewers than a 2003 cooking show rerun.
I mean, 300,000 is not good at all. Not at all. And to me, this is probably going to be their best ratings ever. After what I saw, yeah, niche market. I say less than 300,000 from this point on, a niche market.
Sue Bird is defending the WNBA's declining viewership, urging us to focus on the positives. Like how no one's watching? She's also backing the Unrivaled League rebranding and Angel Reese, even though she's done little to attract viewers. Wasn't Unrivaled League supposed to be huge? Instead, ratings are dropping, with fewer viewers than a 2003 cooking show rerun.
I want you to keep in mind something. In comparison to the debut week, Angel Reese's debut game with the Rose BC Basketball Club has lost over half of its viewership.
The Unrivaled League made a poor choice, and it's amusing to see them struggle now that it's backfiring. Sue Bird encourages support for all players in a broader perspective, but the reality is that the league had its moment in the spotlight. Instead of focusing on talent, it became about drama, fake rivalries, and pushing fans to care about players they don't. Keep in mind, this comes from someone who played when women's basketball had even less attention, so she might view these numbers as a big improvement.
Unrivaled. Folks, night one of Unrivaled, people were doing it. Do a little dance, show a little love, get down tonight. Hey, get down tonight. Oh, people were doing the cha-cha slide. Night one of Unrivaled, 313K, 311. That's a nice, not bad. That's acceptable, right? Then we get to night two. Oh, 113,000. That's not acceptable. Whoa. Then we get to night three. 187,000. Oh, 120,000. Yikes. That's.
The Unrivaled League celebrated 300,000 viewers like they changed basketball, but just 3 weeks later, they're struggling to hit 100,000. Worse, Angel Reese's team, Rose, barely made $100,000 for a game. That's not a drop, it's a collapse. Fans saw what Unrivaled had to offer and said, no thanks, and honestly, who can blame them?
Modest is a word I would use to describe ratings in the NHL. Nationally televised games in the NHL, they normally average 300,000-400,000 viewers. That's modest. Unrivaled cannot come close to reaching half that number. These ratings aren't modest, they're abysmal, they're atrocious. If I had to guess, Unrivaled is the least watched programming on TNT. Monday night, the Lunar Owls versus the Vinyl, 134,000 views.
With shaky basketball, overhyped storylines, and the media pushing Angel Reese too hard, fans lost interest fast. Then Sue Bird steps in, saying not to overreact. But when you lose 200,000 viewers in 3 weeks, that's hard to ignore. It's like a restaurant going from full to empty, and the manager saying everything's fine. No, Sue, it's not.
Angel Reese. Unrivaled basketball. Now 190 is better than 140, but both are better than the week prior, and both are better than the opening night. We are headed on a downward spiral. Fast. This is falling fast, folks. This is going fast.
Let's talk about Angel Reese. Unrivaled built a lot of hype around her, but fans didn't buy it. They tried to make her the star, but the audience isn't interested. You can't force-feed something and expect it to work. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is casually dropping 30 in the WNBA, and Fever games are breaking records. Fans want real competition, not a reality TV show disguised as a league. Unrivaled thought they had the formula, but the numbers say otherwise. People tuned in, didn't like what they saw, and left. Now, Sue Bird's acting like everything's fine, while Angel Reese tries to sell herself as a superstar. You can't fake greatness, and right now, Unrivaled's overhyped. If they don't fix it, they'll be stuck with tiny viewership and blaming the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like,
I'm sorry. I can't. She really believes that. She believed it then. She believed that they were started to watch her because of that one game.
Let's be real. If Caitlin Clark were in this league, they wouldn't be playing in small gyms with 3,000 people. Those arenas would be packed, standing room only. But instead, we have empty seats, low viewership, and tiny venues where you can hear the coaches. The real problem? No one's tuning in. Half the viewers are just friends and family. You could put these games on a Times Square billboard, and people would still walk past. And honestly, some players, like Angel Reese, are pushing fans away with their reality show vibes instead of focusing on the game.
Legacy crosses teams and fandoms following today's win. South Carolina coach Dawn Staley took a moment to acknowledge what Clark has done for the sport.
Just don't want to not utilize this opportunity to thank Caitlin for what she's done for women's basketball. Like, her shoulders were heavy and getting a lot of eyeballs on our game.
Well, we're going to talk about yet more records. All right, black and white sports supporters. Well, we're going to talk about yet more records, attendance-wise and ratings-wise, that Caitlin Clark has now obtained and captured. And she drew another big rating on NBA TV, which she's broken every WNBA record they've had on there this year, and then she broke another.
just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and